Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Walker, and while we are bunny hopping between Wizard of Legend and Wizard of Legend 2, I'd like to, first of all, apologize for not having uploaded anything in the last couple of days. I've been diligently trying to get over my illness, which I suppose translates into sleeping and doing nothing for a little while. Go figure, that's how you beat illness, is by resting. Alright, and we're going to be doing piano solos today. Pardon me. But I would also like to express the idea that those two games aren't necessarily the only thing that I'm going to be doing. And as such, I would like to ask you guys for tips on the bird. That's right. That's right. We're just... It's all about you, Riku. It's all about you, you selfish bitch. But no. I am interested in what other games you guys would be interested in seeing, because there's all sorts of stuff out there that I think is really interesting to try. Like, I'm definitely wanting to get back into Blaze Blue Entropy Effect. It's another particularly good, solid roguelite that I really enjoy playing. I just haven't played it in a while. Meaning that I haven't had a chance to get used to the new character that's in the game. That's right, Rachel Alucard is finally in Blaze Blue Entropy Effect. Hey, Dark Sage, why are we talking about this instead of Wizard of Legend? Well, fuck me for having some interests. But no, in all seriousness, I am curious as to what other games you guys are interested in seeing played. Because, and obviously it can't all just be one thing. I mean, that is kind of what my channel is about, let's be fair. But what I'm trying to say is I'm really looking for ways to diversify what I'm doing, and I am very interested in what you guys have to say. But enough about this, let's get into what today's build is going to be. Today's build was shared with me by a user on my Discord, a rather new user, by the way, so thank Papa Johnson for this one. He describes it as the Immortal Ferret. The idea behind his build is that he tends to take damage a lot. Not, obviously... So, I'm jumping all over the place with my thought process. So, his thought process is because he's takes a lot of damage, or just because he's not that great at dodging, perhaps. I don't want to put words in the guy's mouth. He chooses to go with a build that has him dashing and darting all over the place like a drunken ferret, and using those small hits to just continually recover health while he just goes berserk. His own words saying the claws make it look like a wild animal is attacking. Now, I personally would prefer to go with something a little bit different than this. But, you know, we're gonna try it. He also said that his signature was called Shock Array. I'm pretty sure he meant Spark Array. But, you know, this is a very interesting idea. Pretty much foregoing the idea of dodging attacks entirely, or rather just using the eyeglasses as a sort of stepping stone just to get yourself over that wall, so to speak. Now, I would say I'm gonna try the run out as it is. Does he offer... He says he likes Frost Feint or Thunderline. With this particular build, I would almost be more apt to take... I can't remember the name of it, but I would almost be more apt to take Volt Tracer, since the whole idea is darting around and just messing up enemies. But I'm gonna try it as has been recommended, and we will see what I think of it. And of course, we have to go up against Atlas at the very end. Why? Because this game hates me. Now, since we do have a build that's all about basic arcana spam, one thing that I could consider doing is grabbing the Sharpened Stylus if I see it. So allow me to just be the first person to come out and say this is not the normal sort of build I'm comfortable with. I prefer something that allows me some modicum of control over the battlefield, which is probably why he chose Spark Array in the first place, if I'm being honest. Because just dashing around by itself probably isn't enough to get the job done. Hey, how dare you hide behind a rock? It's my job. I'm supposed to be the one hiding behind a rock. Mostly because I have no clue how to use this build properly. I definitely think that for a build of this style, Volt Tracer is definitely the better option. Because what that enables you to do is to dash towards enemies, still get some damage off on them as you dart into them, and then just continue what you're doing. This is what Shockline does is create much more of a defensive buffer zone as you retreat from enemies. Which, you know, I'm not saying it doesn't work. What I am saying is that it's a little counterintuitive to what the rest of the build is all about. So yeah, even though we took a whole lot of damage, you'll notice we still came out only about 66 HP down in the long run. Because one thing that we are being enabled to do is just tank hits, because we're recovering a bunch of health with the... Sorry, okay, can I not die? But yes, we are being enabled to a lot of self-recovery thanks to the Vampire's Eyeglasses, which I think is the entire point. This is the sort of run that you build when you've just decided, fuck it, I don't care anymore. And as far as my thoughts on it, it's alright. There's nothing wrong with it necessarily. It's definitely not my style, as I prefer something a little bit more controlled when I go into combat. We are also going to be noticing that there's a certain lack of damage that we're currently working with that I find to be a little bit of an issue. Like, yeah, we're darting all over the place. We're cutting, we're slashing, we're chopping, we're slicing, we're dicing, we're making fruit puree. But it is really difficult to turn armor into puree. Especially when you get caught between spikes and a bunch of ignition rushes. I don't think that's going to help. The Crimson Clover, on the other hand, will help immensely. Alright. I don't think I care about the other arcana right now. And if you've ever wondered why I say that the Vampire's Eyeglasses are a bit of a crutch, this is definitely why. And no, I'm not trying to belittle anyone with that take. I'm just saying that if there was ever a reason to say that the Vampire's Eyeglasses were a crutch, this run would definitely be an example of why. And that's the thing, we're scoring a lot of hits, but they're doing such little damage that it's really hard to... It's really hard to get anywhere quickly with a build like this. But that doesn't mean it's not working. So now what we really need are some general damage improvements, and, you know, fewer spike rooms would be nice. Not surprisingly, Twin Turbines is doing a great job of making sure that I can keep enemies at bay, while also charging some signature. And that's particularly nice because when dealing with the Thunder Palace, Spark Array is unfortunately just getting hamstrung. Hold on. What do we have down here? Nah. Okay, so we have more stuns. You know, not bad. I think because we have such a melee-focused attack strategy, I would actually like to have Frost Fan. Alright, so now can we get any kind of a damage improvement over here? Yes and no. Depends on what you count adopting a fairy as. Alright, so... Oh, of course. How come it took you so long to find the boss room? Well, I mean, I started in Florida and I didn't expect the boss room to be in California. Or, for that matter, underwater. Nothing but respect for my Floridians out there, but... man, y'all got it bad this year. I feel terrible. And by the way, if there's anything you can do to help people who had to deal with not only Milton, but... is it Helene? Helena? I mean, there's 2 hurricanes in the same part of the year. Well, not only the same part of the year, but the same part of the world, which is what I meant to say. Like, they are getting roasted, unfortunately. So, hopefully, they're getting the help that they need to not only recover, but to get back to their lives. Like, and that's the parts. It's not just Milton that I find to be bad. It's the idea that it's the second one in such a short time frame. Alright, but back to the Wizard of Legend here. So, we're seeing that this build is particularly good at... oh, there we go. And somehow the raffle ticket has now come through for us twice in a row. That's ridiculous. But yeah, at this point, we pretty much have the keys to the kingdom, because the Crimson Clover in conjunction with the Dark Katana basically turns this into an easy win. And not to mention the idea that we also have... we also have the Curse Eater's Mask, so... I mean, this run basically worked out as well as it could. And yes, I am talking about the run in past tense because, frankly, let's be real, any challenge this run presented is now officially over. And now it's even easier. So now that we have... so let's just make sure that we're looking at this the same way. Your base critical hit chance is 5%. That boosts up to 15. And that boosts it up to 22. Sorry, 23. And then 38 times 3. Yeah, this is basically already a one run. There is literally nothing that is going to be stopping me. And admittedly, this is probably the end game for any build of this sort. I just think it's funny that we got there so succinctly in this run. And you know what? We might as well grab that. Yeah, this is... At this point, we might as well just talk about something completely different. We barely even need to pay attention to the game anymore, so... Hey, have you tried Metaphor Refantasio yet? The only thing that's keeping me from jumping right into that game is its $70 price point. But it is another very good-looking JRPG, and it's from the people who made Persona, so you know they have some pedigree there. Which is probably why they're charging $70, aside from just, you know, industry bullshit. But if we're being honest, I am chalking it up mostly to industry bullshit, because, frankly, that is kind of what's been going on lately. I don't even think I need that. I don't even really need Fueled Berserk at this point. It's now there almost strictly for overkill. And watch the competition melt. Dodge attacks? What attacks? There were enemies there? Could have fooled me. Oh, I thought Blazing Larry was going to get the job done for sure. Oh, well. I did not lead that fight off properly. That was an oops on my behalf. I should have just thrown out the spark array. There's nothing here I want. And yeah. Oh. I'm full up on relics. Okay, well, don't need that garbage. Back on with what I was saying, though, because I get distracted easily. I may have some form of ADHD and have never been officially diagnosed, and I'm not going to just assume that I have something without an actual diagnosis. But I do exhibit all the trademark behaviors. There we go. So why did I trade that out? That's easy. It gets a shield, which means even more brain rot spamming. Not brain rot necessarily, just brainless. You know, I don't even care. Let's just go. Yeah, there's nothing else we need here. Exploration, who needs it? Fuck it. I mean, the build was done pretty much the moment I picked up the Crimson Clover. Just everything else just made it so mindless. Yeah, baby. Like, this entire time, did I ever drop below 300 health? Because I don't think it's going to happen. Alright. Adopt a second fairy. Just because I can. And yeah, that should be it. Pardon me. I'm obviously still not completely well at this point, but you know what? I'm trying. By the way, in case you're wondering what it was I was going to say when I was trying to get back on the topic of Metaphor Refantasio, honestly, I don't remember at this point. I managed to get off topic again, talking about ADHD, and that's just kind of became... That just kind of became all she wrote about that. And there we go. Didn't even fall below 300 health at all the entire run. So, yeah, if you guys know anything about that game, or you just want to share anything you know about it, please do. If you can think of other games that you would like to see me play on the channel, again, please share. I am interested in that. And I do have one other thing that I want to bring up, but I think I'm going to save it for the next video, because I'd like to take a little bit of time to either iron out the idea, or at least solidify it in my head. All that having been said, I appreciate you all for coming and tuning in and sharing some of your free time here with me today. Thank you again to Papa Johnson for sharing your build with me. And, of course, if you guys are interested, feel free to share... Feel free to share ways to stop a greedy bird from screaming. Yes, you selfish bitch, I'm talking to you. But all that having been said, I appreciate you coming and spending your free time here with me today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And I will catch you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and you take care, everybody.